Today is an August reading wrap-up. This is probably the lowest number of books I've read. I also liked this quote. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Sarah Jane and I'm a PR practitioner living in DC. I make a lot of content on reading, writing, and life in DC. So if any of that interests you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because it really helps support my channel. Really exciting announcement that this is the first time I'm announcing it on my YouTube channel. I have started a Substack. I've never had Substack before, but I decided to try it out, and I'm going to link it in the description below. So if you want to follow along on things that I'm reading or like vibes and all that kind of good stuff, be sure to sign up for my Substack. Today is an August reading wrap up. I did not have a good August reading month. I just was so busy from work. I don't know what it was about the month of August. It was like, you know, the end of summer, so there was a ton of stuff going on, and I just honestly worked so much, so I did not get to read a lot. So this is probably the lowest number of books I've read since I started doing reading videos. I only read 3 books, which is crazy because my monthly goal is always to at least read 5, but we only read 3. So I'm going to share those 3 here with you today. I really wanted to kind of soak in the last of the summer reads. So I did start off this month with The Paradise Problem from Christina Lauren. This is Christina Lauren's newest release. This came out in May of this year. And I picked it up mostly because of the cover, because honestly, like, look at it. But I was also a really big fan of The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So I was really hoping to get kind of some of those similar vibes, which were like rom-com on an island. I mean, it's a really, really fun read. So I was like, okay, hopefully this read is kind of similar. This is a contemporary romance and it takes place in Indonesia. So beforehand, we're in New York and we're following Anna and Wes. They got married during college so that she could have access to unsubsidized family housing while at UCLA. And West marries her so that he could receive a massive inheritance. 3 years later, she's living paycheck to paycheck, and West is a Stanford professor, and he arrives at her door asking her to go on one final adventure of their marriage before they actually sign divorce papers. And he asks her to attend his sister's wedding, and it's essential that their marriage seem authentic due to an antiquated clause in his grandfather's will that Liam won't see a penny of his inheritance if he isn't happily married for 5 years. So this whole book, we're following along in Indonesia as she goes and meets Liam's family, who is a very affluent and eclectic family. And just kind of like the ins and outs and all of that goes with it. I thought this was a cute book. I expected it to be as funny and as rom-com-y as The Unhoneymooners, which it wasn't. It was a little bit more mature and adult, which is good. And I think it's good also because it demonstrates the depth of Christina Lauren's writing to write something that's a little bit more adult, a little bit more mature. This is a very like eat the rich as you can get within a rom-com, and I do think it's a really great book to read on the beach. It's very oddly escapist until all the conflicts begin. I think you'll like this book if you like fake dating, forced proximity, and like the one-bed trope. I went ahead and closed my blinds because I felt like it was giving me really weird shadows. Some of my favorite quotes from this book were, when we care about someone, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. We have to consider not only what they did, but also why they did it. Intent matters, which I feel like is so true. As I've gotten older, it's not really what they did, but what was the intent behind the thing that someone has done. I also liked this quote. To quote a movie my girlfriend has made me watch at least 5 times, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. Thought that was very sweet. And then my last quote that I really liked from this book was, do less but better. Overall, I gave this book 3 stars. I still like The Unhoneymooners better, but this was a nice fun read. So then I kind of couldn't decide what I wanted to read next. And I just didn't have a beach read that was like piquing my interest. So this month, It Ends With Us came out, and I was like, I kind of want to read a Colleen Hoover book just to get me in the mood to watch the movie. So I decided to pick up Verity. I actually got this from the thrift store for $3.49. Love that. I wasn't really sure what to expect from this because It Ends With Us. I went into It Ends With Us, very blindly. So did not realize that movie was about domestic violence. So I was like, I have no idea what this movie is going to be about or this book is going to be about. So This one, it takes place in New York City and in Vermont, and I think this is a really great book if you are in a book slump, because I kind of was, and it definitely pulled me out of that. We're following a character named Lowen, who is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts an offer from a man named Jeremy, who is the husband of a best-selling author named Verity. So Verity is his wife. They have hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in her successful series because she's injured and she's not able to finish the series. So Lowen goes to their home in Vermont, prepared to go through Verity's notes and outlines when she comes across an unfinished autobiography that unravels very bone-chilling admissions. I literally read this book in 24 hours. It was that good. The reader is weaving through lies and manipulation and trying to determine which reality is the truth. And Hoover clearly interjects fear and uncertainty that hooks the reader. So this novel is about fiction and truth, and sometimes how difficult it is to separate the two. The twists and the turns in this book absolutely kept me on the edge of my seat. And for the record, I have not read the extended ending. She did a reprint with an extended chapter at the end, and I haven't read it because everyone that I've known who has read this book and has read that has said not to because it ruins it, so I have not read it. But I think you'll like this book if you like dual timelines, isolated settings, and locked rooms. Overall, I gave this book 5 stars. This was my 5-star read of the month, and I absolutely love this book, and I wish Colleen Hoover wrote more romantic thrillers like this because it was so good. So the last and final book I read in the month of August was The 7-Year Slip. I read it at the beach, and then I don't know what happened to the book. I hope I did not leave it at the beach. I think it made it back, but I can't find it. So anyways, it's The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is a magical realism fiction novel set on the Upper East Side. At this point, I'm at the tail end of August, and I just really want an easy book to get lost in. I'm not ready to start my fall reads yet because it's still really warm outside, but I'm also in a bit of a reading slump after reading Verity. So I just wanted something that was going to be whimsical and easy and maybe full of like hope and love. And so I went down a Reddit thread and people recommended this book, so that is what I decided to read. So we're following Clementine, who is an overworked book publicist with a planned future that hits a snag when her aunt passes away. She's very close to her aunt. Her aunt was her mentor and a fellow adventure seeker, and her death jolts Clementine's reality. Her aunt leaves Clementine her apartment on the Upper East Side, which absolutely, that's amazing. Like, as someone who used to live on the Upper East Side, I would be overjoyed with having an apartment there. Anyways, she walks into her apartment one day and she finds this like strange man, and she ends up falling head over heels for him, except that it turns out he lives 7 years in the past. So this apartment takes you back, not every time you walk in, but sometimes you'll walk in and you're 7 years in the past. It just really depends on what the apartment wants to do. So I really liked this book. I thought Poston's writing was really beautifully crafted. I particularly enjoyed how Poston wrote about grief because it made you feel like you were grieving the loss of your aunt too. While the story is about romance, it's more really about self-discovery and growth and Clementine's journey through friendships and mistakes and passions. Clementine is at a crossroads trying to decide what she wants her future to hold. It's incredibly refreshing to read the narrative that one's job does not define who you are, because I feel like a lot of times, especially now in society, that is a big push, but Poston does a really good job separating that, and that you can have a passion and provide purpose, but it doesn't have to be your identity. So through the ups and downs of this book, it never felt overwhelming to read. It just felt light. And if you're looking for a sweet and touching read, I highly recommend this book. I think you'll like it if you like forced proximity, time travel, and passion versus practicality. And overall, I gave this book 4 stars. Those were the 3 books I read this month. Nothing crazy. I'm planning to start my fall reads in September. I am so in the mood for thrillers and cozies and mysteries and ghost stories. I'm just like so ready for the fall season and everything that comes along with that in the book world. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am just so excited for fall. I hope you guys are too, and I will talk to you guys in another one. Once again, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because it really does help support me and the videos that I make. And if you've been here this long, please leave me a brown heart emoji in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Hello, Ramona. I can